everywhere. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of the Daily Bone Podcast, where we discuss all things crypto market. That includes the majors like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, meme coins, and of course, NFTs. Today, we're going to discuss the major global catalysts that are sending equities and crypto markets. We're going to talk about
China,
Bitcoin treasury company,
Taiwan,
Trump advisor David Bailey. And we're going to talk about runners in a red hot crypto meme coin
Argentina
market. GM. Full house today, joined by Easy, Choose Rich, Nick, Clemente, and Signal. Signal, it's been a week since we've talked. How you feeling today? How's the market been treating you since we had this pump?
Dude, it feels so good. Honestly, this whole pump that has just happened, I keep checking, like I have like a little bit of crypto retailing going on my on these banking apps that you can do, and I have it there just to have some fun positions that I want to get in and out of really quickly. But they're just all up and in the green, and like when you see that, you're just like, oh, it feels so good. No, I've been doing some portfolio checking as well over the weekend, just thinking about like how I want to position myself in this like eggplant season and going into things. Now we've had that tariff news that's come in. It just feels like the market is euphorious. People's risk off situation has calmed down. Now we're going to risk on. And it just seems like now, even though we're approaching all-time highs again, that you can be risk on and buy and go into silly season, or as Raul Paul likes to call it, like the banana zone. But it feels like that. I don't know. It feels good.
What is eggplant season?
Oh, you don't know about eggplant season? So it's a term that I trademarked that refers to a period of media that happens over June, July, August, where nothing gets reported except the largest vegetable that was grown in Iowa. And it tends to be the largest eggplant, the largest courgette, or whatever vegetable you guys grow that are very large over there. And it makes the front page news because nothing is going on. And those are like the dry months where you're like thirsty for content. You're just like, there is nothing to talk about. And so I call June, July, August, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, as it goes so quickly, eggplant season.
We got eggplants, we got bananas, and we got a bunch of dicks on this show.
Hey, Nick, you should ask your mom about eggplant season. Heyo!
That's just kind of fucked up, dude.
Yeah.
Dude,
Nick,
no one was going there.
Place?
No one was going there, Clemente, except you.
Clemente is on his high horse today. He's got that glowing skin. He's shilled Jamelia's last week. He's been victory lapping around the timeline. Look at this guy dancing, just going to bat for these little
dude. Clemente's show's not even that good. Me and Nick Pico time the bottom. I'm just saying. Look at the equities market, man. Nick, we did it again. They keep hating us.
Dude, get out of here. Get out of here. You said
my portfolio just continues to surge to outrageous levels.
Whoa.
My target was
Nick, why is it so dark there?
It's raining in Miami.
It's raining right now. There's
it's
not
raining here
lamp.
too, but like I at least look like I have some fucking lights on.
just leaves. There we go.
I mean, it's on my face. Okay, that's where the light is.
You look
You
so
see it
doom and
bouncing off
gloomy,
my
dude.
nose. Look at the light
All right,
on
let's
the
take a look
nose.
at Signal. Look
They
at
always
this.
say
This
a
is
good
proper lighting.
indicator.
Look at this. See, this is how you do it.
Yeah,
Everything's
good
nice
lighting.
and bright and crisp. Signal looking great there. And then we got Nick just in like the pitch black.
Bro's coming at me like the other morning.
Look at this, dude. What the fuck's going on with your ceiling?
Yeah,
You were literally sitting in the dark, ready to off yourself the other morning. So I don't even want to hear it.
I'll go back there if you want. We can go right back to it. Don't test me. Don't test me, dude.
No, Easy's desk is actually very dark.
Oh, that camera's got a nice little
No, it's not the
screen
camera.
downloading his face.
It's the monitor, just so bright on.
It's absorbing the rays.
You got a problem with it? I'm locked in.
Had enough of this fucking bullshit.
Yeah, New York gave you better light, I have to say. You always had that great window light coming in that just sort of like smoothed your face and your skin, but now it's gone. We need more daylight, Nick. We're not used to seeing you in this mode.
Okay, well, I'm gonna set up the lamp. I got a lamp. It's sitting in the box over there. This transition into this apartment has been way more complicated than I thought. There's a lot of issues that are going on here. However, I'm down 10 pounds.
Hey,
Congrats, dude.
let's go.
Let's go. What was the secret?
Ozempic.
Meth.
Okay.
Thank you for the great answer.
It's been one hell of a week.
Fasting, eating
Good.
healthy.
Well done.
And now I'm hitting the sauna and cold plunge with Clemente over there.
And that eczema little skin problem, all gone? We clear?
No, I mean, not fully yet. But I think, well, one of the things that I paid, remember how I spent thousands of dollars on a blood test? So a lot of it didn't really identify anything. There were some indicators of slightly high cholesterol, but I've already had that before. Also, by the way, cholesterol levels are manufactured by statin manufacturers, so that's like a whole other thing. But my biggest thing is mercury. I have high mercury in my blood.
Do you eat a lot of fish?
Tuna.
Dude, I was eating like sushi like for dinner every night, basically.
Yeah, that'll do it. That'll do it.
Yeah.
I went on like a 2-week bender of sashimi. Started getting sick. I told my doctor about it, and he was like, "What have you been eating?" When I told him that, he's like, "You got to stop. Like, just stop. Like, you're literally sick. You're getting sick." I'm
going on no fish for 80 days, basically. I'm going to try and avoid pretty much all fish. I got to get my blood in tip-top shape, eliminate any risk of, just further expansion of obesity thanks to my consumption of boba and working out.
Speaking of high levels of mercury, we have a huge announcement from our partners over at DYDX. They are now on the Kaido post-TGE.
This is massive, Raymond.
Leader.
Let me take this over from you. This is the biggest news in the entire market. DYDX getting onto the Kaido post-TGE Yapper leaderboard with $150,000 being given out. The top 10 people get 2,500 beans sent straight to your wallet. So if you're trading perps and you just share the charts and mention where you're trading them, it's not a hard game and a hard ladder to climb. Your boy's already up there. I'm just saying, because someone on this team has been yapping about DYDX, and it's not anyone else up here besides me. All right, just saying. It's a pretty easy lift.
Dude, you don't want me competing against you. I'm just letting you know.
You'll lose, dude.
Right now, I'm number 9 across all yappers for the past 7 days.
Because you figured out how to type with your thumbs and finally press send instead of doing this.
I'm outperforming everybody on the team with literally no effort whatsoever. It's incredible. I'm just demonstrating my sheer talent and ability. Wait till
you gave me the secret sauce, though. I figured out what you're doing, Nick. On our call yesterday, you gave me the secret sauce. So your boy's going to start climbing the ladder, too?
No.
We're going to be battling for 1 and 2. We're never going to tell Clemente the secret sauce.
I told Clemente.
Don't tell. He probably forgot it. He's been slamming beers with his buddies. He probably forgot it.
Deleting beers.
Just deleting beers.
Breakdown on the prizes. We have a little behind the scenes information on the prize breakdown. Top 10, $2,500 a piece. Ranks 11 to 50, you get $420 a piece. Ranks 51 to 100, $150 each. So you're going to be getting this money in DYDX token, $50K per month given away for the next 3 months. Start firing up your DYDX tweets. There's lots to talk about, too. They have got their Surge program, $20 million in rewards over the next 8 months. Month 1 was already paid out. We absolutely cooked on that one. Talk about Surge. You can talk about their different trading competitions. We're going to have a fun trading competition for the Bodogos coming up. It's going to be pretty exciting with some rewards there as well. And you can just talk about them being on this Yapper leaderboard. I mean, we've got a ton of messaging. You can share P&Ls, lots of things you can do to earn Kaido Yaps. Very easy platform to do it on because it is one that everyone can use and is familiar with. It's a perps trading platform, one of the most, something with the biggest product market fit in crypto. So check out DYDX. Sign up now at bodogos.com/DYDX. Start yapping about it. Join easy. Try to knock them off that board. I'm going to be doing some tweets as well. Try to knock
how much do I need to risk here to have positive ROI? Like, how much do I need to bet in DYDX?
So it's not betting.
Sorry.
Stop that. It's perpetual future trading.
Predicting, Nick.
I don't know, dude. We've put 1,000 in, and we've gotten 800 in rewards, not counting Surge. So on top of Surge, we're probably in the profit just off that. The thing is, it's like if you take leverage and don't go too crazy with it, and have like decent trades on there, or even just trades that are delta neutral, so like not going up or down, you get rewards for every trade you make. So there's opportunities for like small trades and stuff like that where you can find wins.
If Bitcoin can break above 104,802 and like actually hold it there, we have, as Signals described it, entered the banana eggplant zone.
No.
And
Banana zone is Raul's
the
term. I'm
eggplant banana zone. That was what she was calling it. And the next level for Bitcoin straight up after that is 160,000.
Wow.
Yeah. So what you would do then, Nick, is you would throw some cash on DYDX. Go to about others like
I'm not kidding.
DYDX to save on
Signal
your
saying
fees.
what?
What? No, I'm saying what? Because I actually really respect your TA because you're one of the few people that do it, and you're normally just a couple of grand out of the numbers that you quote. You and Easy are really good at this. So when you throw out numbers like 160, I don't like that because it undermines everything you've done in the past. So explain it to me.
I think we pull back here.
Well, Easy's been saying that since yesterday. Then the markets opened up even higher. Who has the top
Equity
winner
markets
today?
opened up, yeah.
I do. I've been aping into AVAX on a substantial level. We are hitting a key level here.
Beautiful.
But yeah, I realized that AVAX was not a large enough percentage of my bag. Solana back to outperforming Ethereum once again. Very exciting times on that side. That chart, next level, 201.
Wait, we have to do the weather report.
We're going to get to it in 2 seconds. Let me just finish up this quick. What do I do? Oh my God. We went in the opposite direction. Shit. How will we recover? I'm almost done with this 2-second technical thing. This is but what I've been watching. Look at these levels.
2.
Okay, dude. Look
3.
at these levels. Just test. Just bouncing up against those levels. Like an eggplant on a pumpkin.
Heyo.
Yeah, but that doesn't take us to 160, Nick, though. Like, come on, give us like a real number here.
Yeah, it does. Look at the next level.
I don't like it when you do that. Come on, because you're normally really good at this. Like, so Easy thinks we're going like we're gonna pull back, and you're
Not a ton,
falling
though.
for like.
Let me just clarify this. I say pull back. Give me like 94 to
Okay.
96.
Okay.
Here's what I look at. I grab this. Let's see how this compares. Okay, 132. 130. There you go. Okay, I'm going to give you a better, but actually it should come from the break from here, which would get you to 143. I'm just letting you know where the next level is coming from, and it's everything is looking very good on this breakout. We've seen this. Look, it's happened again and again. Consolidation, breakout, and Bitcoin is looking one of the best. My biggest takeaway from this is like alts are actually playing catch up here. Yeah, I mean Bitcoin dominance has just been consistent for look how long this run has been. Ever since December, Bitcoin has just been like gaining share with very few pullbacks. We had one from December to January, and then it ran again, despite the fact that this was where Solana ran and then peaked basically around, what was that, the 16th? When was the crypto ball and stuff like that? That's when Solana peaked, was right January 19th. So Solana's been down ever since then. This is the one chart that's interesting to me. If we see a pullback all the way down to here, which is what I was saying the other day, or I tweeted out, is that I think we could get a solid altcoin run. Last time, Solana went from 160, somewhere around here, 160 up to at least 260. You could go up here if you really wanted, but this was in that short of period. AVAX during that time, insane run from 25 all the way up to 54. So we're on like the cusp of this right now, which is pretty insane. If Bitcoin has the breakout, which it may not, I don't know if it's going to, but the next Bitcoin breakout here, this thing could just very rapidly send. And it took, to be clear, last time for that run to happen took about, in just days, you're looking at, well, from the bottom of my level, you had September to December. So you had October, November, 3 months. The biggest run occurring from November 5th to December 15th. So in a 6-week period, you had the biggest run from 65 up to 106. So like that does seem within reason that this would be sitting somewhere around 145, like somewhere between 130, 160. I think it could overshoot. This is when your friends start calling you. And at that point, that's when you could get the run up. My target for this run, for this cycle was 250. I don't know what date that occurs on, but at 250, that's where Solana could be closer to 1,000. But I don't know. Maybe we pull that back on even 650. Easy's retiring at this level. But yeah. Anyways,
Appreciate that 2-second insight there, Nick. But Signal, are we ready to kick it off?
No, I'm sorry. Okay, no, I'm sorry, because you guys do this to me a lot. I say something and then you undermine it, and you just undermined everything that Nick just said. Okay, that was really
Ray does
valuable.
that literally all the fucking time. Ray always does this. It's
Ray.
because he doesn't know how to host the show properly.
No, he
We
does.
need to teach him.
Stop. He does know how to host the show. He does a great job. Let me just finish on this point.
It's still a bum.
Easy, shut up. There's something that Nick said here, which is really important. That run that when I think you said it happened in 6 weeks, and that's when your friends start calling. The point being is that trying to time when that major run happens is nearby impossible. So like having your chips on the table is so important, whether you're like fully deployed or whether you're DCAing, whatever your strategy is, because when that run happens, it doesn't stop. And then you just are trying to play catch up. And then you feel like you've missed it. And then you start running into alts, but alts are then also running because it's just, this is the time it feels like if you haven't like packed your strategy, you really are late to the game right now, because I feel like that run will come and you'll be like, what the hell just happened? Summer's meant to be quiet, and it did exactly the opposite. So I think for me, from everything you just said in that TA, it's like being ready for that run and just not being like scrambling to get to your ledger to deploy positions when it happens. Now we can go to the weather report.
We could get a we could get a rejection like Easy's looking for, but if we do, it's fucking temporary, because I think we're on the verge of sending. What were we going to say, Clemente?
So Nick this is going back to what Nick was saying earlier about how his mercury levels were high. I just realized he sent a picture of his dinner on Friday. This is what he ate. This is why his mercury levels are so high. This is
slabs of tuna, like full sheets of that shit, dude. Dude ate 3 bluefin.
That was my last fish dinner. It was a Michelin star sushi place. Thanks for throwing out my private dining experience. No, what?
Is that the new Michelin star one that just opened?
There's a new one.
I think so.
Eden.
Yeah, it is. Okay. You fancy?
That was a large amount of raw fish.
That wasn't all mine, just in case you're wondering. Okay.
Was that like an omakase situation? Was that?
Yes.
Oh, very good. Very good. Well, good way of spending the Bitcoins at 104. Good investment. Anyway, guys, let's get into the weather report, because we are almost halfway through the show on Monday, May 12th. Let's get into it. Looking at that crypto roundup, the majors are up on the day with Bitcoin just hovering around 104K. We are just entering near that all-time high. Looks beautiful. Ethereum just having a beautiful run. It was the underdog, but it's just coming back. It's at 2,600, and Solana is at over $175 over the past 24 hours. Top 3 stories. Firstly, markets have rallied on the back of major bullish global macro catalysts. The US and China agreed on 90-day tariff de-escalation. Zelensky and Putin looks like they're going to be best friends. They've also set to hold ceasefire talks in Turkey this week. And the Nasdaq gained almost 4% during pre-market trading as equities are green across the board. Next up, one of Trump's crypto advisors are making a huge splash. David Bailey's Nakamoto Bitcoin holding company announced a merger with Kindly MD to establish a Bitcoin treasury company. The Kindly stock is up over 500% pre-market. And then lastly, speaking of Bitcoin treasury companies, we saw some big acquisitions this morning. Metaplanet acquired another 125 million worth of Bitcoin. Strategy acquired 1.3 billion worth, and Strategy is currently up 2% pre-market to $423. I'm sure Pio is not here because he is dancing and celebrating. That is all for the weather report. It is back to you in the studio.
Excellent weather report as always, Signal. We have another one of these Memecoin, Bitcoin trading company stocks that's entering the market now with David Bailey, a Trump advisor. I believe it's the president of Bitcoin Magazine. Is that right?
Yes. And the founder Bitcoin conference next week, or when is it? 2 weeks?
Yeah, and they got JD Vance speaking at that conference. So I'm gonna take a look at Kindly here.
And I think Trump.
No,
Is Trump speaking? Was it confirmed?
I think it's
Yes.
just JD.
So
it's
this is
just
at
JD.
$3.90. Now trading pre-market at $28.51. It was at a $23 million market cap. It's now up, over 100 mil very quickly.
Probably closer to 250 million or something like that. It's pretty outrageous.
Yeah. That's a huge bump. I haven't got a chance to look at some of the other equities companies.
Who bought this? Who bought this before the news came out?
Did you?
Yo, Nick.
Did you?
DeFi Development Corp looking good.
Really?
Up 9% pre-market.
Let's fucking go, dude.
We're rich again.
There you go. That's gonna put you in the green, right?
Finally, up $6 a share.
Hey, let's go.
No, it's not. It says down 1.3%.
I'm looking at pre-market at $81 here.
Oh, well, I don't know why Google Finance is not recording that.
Dude, trading view, brother. Always.
You know what else is also up right now?
Robinhood.
Pinterest up 9%.
Road
what
to 200 continues, baby.
I think I bought more. Oh, wow. Up 8.2%. That's incredible. I think I bought more Robinhood the other day when we were chatting. I also got your boy accumulated a little bit more of that ADP. You know what I'm saying? Just adding some. I'm up a nice 1.4% today, looking real strong. ADP coming in. Just a solid stock, doing solid things.
What does ADP do?
What is ADP? They do payroll, playa.
They're
where paychecks come from. They have like $1 trillion in cash at any given moment.
So it's like the gold beta. It just looks like the gold chart.
Is this the gold beta?
I mean, it just looks like the gold chart, doesn't it?
They're just a payroll company, and they just continue to go up. They're one of, they're basically as good as holding Berkshire Hathaway, as far as I'm concerned. I don't have that much in it. I only have, I don't have enough Robinhood. I got like $8,000 worth. I need more.
Are you continuing to buy? Easy. What level are you? Are you just buying all the way up to 200?
No. I have substantial bags of this at the moment. If we could get a dip back under 55, I'll buy more. But at this point, I'm content with my exposure to Robinhood.
Wait, you got like $100,000 in here?
Let's not pocket watch, but I'm not mad about my Robinhood exposure. I'm not mad about it.
Higher or lower?
Tiny bit lower.
Okay.
Tiny bit. For now,
Have Robinhood started doing the whole Bitcoin acquiring strategy at all?
No, I don't think they ever will.
Okay.
I don't want them to.
I mean, it's inevitable they will, by the way, which I think will send the share price higher.
They've released gambling on the platform, and it's their highest revenue generating thing.
Check out Shopify. Absolutely sending
it's like sick as a question.
Yeah, sorry, wait, but that's a good thing, Easy, right? So I'm just running. If
that's why I'm so bullish on it. They released the predictions market, and it's generating the highest net new revenue for them that they've ever had. They just had their first earnings report with it, and it brought in I'm going to put this lightly. It brought in a metric fuck ton of revenue, and that was barely before they had a ton of markets on it, and now it's chaos over there. Like anybody can go into Robinhood, buy a share of something, buy an options contract, and then go gamble on who they think is going to win in the NBA this night. Like it is the do-all financial app, and when you win, you can schedule delivery of cash to your door. Oh, and by the way, they'll also match your 401k with like a 30% match. Like they do everything. This thing is going to go so much higher, and it's going to be so obvious.
I'm flabbergasted by how accurate we were on timing. Like we said May, and things would be sending. Literally, we drew out where the bottom was on the S&P. The only thing I regret is not aping more on this. Shopify, this position that I got out, I took it a loss because I was freaking out.
We had the line dating all the way back to the start of April. A full month, and this was before the full sell-off. We said if we get down here, the white line, we ape hard. We wicked under it, and we were like, this is the exact setup that we get for the tariff situation that'll play out exactly as last time.
Yeah.
And that's what played off to a T. Now we filled this gap. We're back up to like 580. So the market, when we sat there, that was probably the most productive 40 minutes I've had this year. Sitting there and just looking at what happened historically and being like, well, this is the exact percentage drawdown. And now we've officially been like, yeah, so we're going to cut back tariffs on China. We got 30 on them. They got 10 on us. Good deal.
Easy, what are you looking at for risk on right now in terms of like I know you're like deep in memes, but last time we had this kind of setup, you were all over Raydium, you were all over Jupe. What's going on in your alt world?
So like the alts, in my opinion, I like the AVAX. Obviously we work with them, so maybe I'm biased, but I still like Near. Like Near is the one that I think is underpriced right now because one, they're not on the timeline. Two, no one's really talking about it. But the biggest thing for me with Near is that they are officially partnered with NVIDIA. It is the only cryptocurrency that's been to the NVIDIA conference, the only one that's truly tapped into NVIDIA from an AI perspective. And that to me is invaluable. Like I think AI continues to scale. If you believe in AI, that blockchain is going to have a heavy hand in it. And I think it's going to surprise a lot of people when it finally catches up and runs.
So are you out of most of the Solana alts that you were in last season? Are you going to go back into them, or you're not touching them this time around?
I'm not. So the difference for me was like, we call it Raydium sub $2 and it ran to like an ungodly amount before they had before they launched their Launchpad. So I do think Raydium could end up running back. That's not to say I don't think it will, just because now Let's Bonk, the Bonk Memecoin Launchpad, and Raydium's Launch Labs officially hold 28% of Memecoin Launchpad market share as of yesterday. So that's a lot. Like they're making a lot, and that buyback and burn is extremely valuable because even if they hold 10% market share to pump fund, they're going to have hundreds of millions of dollars a year being able to buy back and burn. So that to me is like the most interesting thing because of that and how strong the Let's Bonk community is. You just have so many whales that are like adamant about seeing the success. You know what I mean? So to me, that's where I'm like, yeah, this is the most interesting thing to me is seeing something like this that's going to catch legs and continue to move where I'm like, okay, yeah, this is good. That's where my brain goes. I'm like, this is one I would be interested in, but I don't really want to chase a lot of those things at the moment.
I mean, speaking about, all right, go ahead, Signal.
No, I was going to add it. Like, it doesn't feel like Solana goes back to the levels that Nick Spin was drawing out earlier, and the rest of the Solana alt ecosystem doesn't run. Like, it stays stagnant. I don't see a world in which that happens because we didn't see that previously when Solana had that run. So that's why I was bringing it up, because I still think potentially there could be some opportunity there. But you're looking at it from like a meme coin narrative perspective. So, okay.
I think meme coins are right now, like the second game of the meme coin market is now starting. We're probably in the second inning of it. Yeah. We've started to see runners happen again. You're getting all the historical memes run. Moodang's up 134% on the back of potentially Moodang having a baby or something like that. I didn't really see the full news, but people went crazy over that. You have Michi running Popcat with all these old memes. And when those start blowing and going crazy, new memes now have significantly higher upside. Like even just while this show is going on, you have a misspelling of Ethereum running from 50K to 500K in 35 seconds with volume and no bundle, no dev holding, top 10 under 15%. There's like stuff right now that's all these Let's Bonk memes are breaking over millions, which is a great sign. You have Useless Coin breaking over 20 million, which is insane to see. I do have one coin that I shared to the Bodagos whales at 6 to 7 mil that last night ran to 22. So, and I still think that's going to go much higher. So like there's certain areas where I'm like finding opportunities. And when I actually have a decent thesis on it, I'm like, okay, with like examples and some other shit on it, I'm like, yeah, this feels good. Fart coin, I think, is going to break all-time high. All that stuff, I'm like, yeah, if these are clear signs that the market is just going crazy.
Farcoin, shout out to Farcoin, up at 1.43 billion right now. People were hating on me at 1 billion when I said this thing's just going to continue to run. I said I came up with a ludicrous number of this being at like 20 billion or something like that, in like an insane, if the market really sends. I don't know what level I'm honestly targeting with this, but I definitely think it breaks all-time highs. Fartcoin is going to be one of the great ones. I'm pretty substantial bag in MOG at the moment. I'm still holding Pepe, which is up. Pepe continues to run.
It's been beautiful. It's been absolute beautiful run. If you'd got in like just even 5-6 weeks ago, it's just up only.
I've just been continuing to hold it basically. We're still substantially off of the all-time highs. Well, actually, no, we're about 50% away. So you could move up 100% to get to all-time highs of Pepe. But I mean, it's just looking really solid. All of these things are looking really strong right now. We'll definitely have other runners. Frank announcing that he's no longer CEO of DeGods right as the meme coin market starts to run again. We know what he's going to be doing. He's shifting back to full-time meme coin trading, but this time without a title.
I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good sign. You know, it's a good sign that we are back, as it's saying, like Easy is saying, in the second inning. So I mean, you know what? Okay, everyone's just like, meh, Frank, but I'm kind of like, oh, it's end of an era in a way. I feel like it is a little bit end of an era.
It is.
Even though NFTs don't have the attention that they had before, but it's definitely an end of an era. He was top 3 villain and hero at the same time of the 2021 space. So while it was hot, I think he was looked at as one of the best players in the space in terms of how to operate. And as times have gone on, things have changed. But anyway, I'm looking at it through like 2021 rose tinted glasses. A lot has happened since then. But yeah, end of an era. It is full meme coin season now.
Today on the news, up like 20%.
What's that?
You guys up 20% on the news today.
I mean, so weren't his co-founders basically, weren't they all living in the same house?
Mm-hmm.
What just happened? Did I actually tweet?
And saying that, I know like he's gonna, I think he said he's gonna go to a gym or something like that. He's like, fine, yeah, I can go to a gym. I don't believe this is the end of Frank in a CEO role. I think give it 3 years, if that, and we're going to see him in something else, something new. So I don't think
shock you if he took over some meme coin platform. Like that's the thing. Like the guy is an incredible trader when it comes to meme coins and trenching. So like, would it shock you if he stepped in somewhere and helped there? Like,
no,
or come up with his own platform.
The difficulty with that is we have seen Axiom start to gain market share pretty substantially. You have so many competitors in that space that it's very difficult to start and create something new. The same thing goes with Launchpads. The reason Bonk's doing really well is because you have runners and they didn't force the narrative for you to launch. Like Boop forcing the narrative for you to launch is actually the downturn of their success, in my opinion, because they kept shifting that airdrop. Like Nick's airdrop got slashed 50%. Which is crazy. And now if as a creator, launching a coin gets you nothing. You don't get rewards anymore. There's no airdrop. So there's zero, like for me, there's no incentive for me to ever launch, ever. because that's like not even on the table anymore. So when you have stuff like that, you need like originally Boop, if you looked at the volume on it, Boop actually was, and let me pull up, I have a dashboard I've been watching. I guess it's slightly dated. Somebody shared a new one to me that was like a little bit better from Blockworks for Raydium, but this is the one that I just kind of like high level go off of. And what I look at here, Boop on May 1st had 10,000 token launches. They've basically fallen off the cliff now. 67 yesterday. You had 8,000 from Launch Labs, and Launch Labs is starting to gain traction again. Launch Labs is what Let's Bonk is on, so they group them together. But that's gaining market share here. So when I look at something like this, when you have runners, that's what causes the volume to start to sway one way or the other. And that's a good sign. But the same thing goes, like Axiom giving back a ton of fees is what's leading to more people using them versus some of the other competitors. Obviously, we're still bullax maxis ourselves, which I'm going to continue to be. And seeing this shift, it becomes a little bit more difficult to launch your own thing unless you have something completely innovative or new that's going to reward traders and drive them there.
I think that's I think that's going to happen, Easy. Like just looking at those statistics, like Pump Fun has such a humongous lead.
Yeah.
It can't stay like that because there will be a competitor that comes along and comes to eat that lunch. Like it has to. You can't have just millions and millions and millions of dollars going to this. It's basically what OpenSea had back in 2021, such humongous inflows of revenue and profit coming in that another competitor will come along. And even if Boop might have change their strategy and people don't like it, it's still early enough in the game that they can still switch and fix it. I don't think it's the end of that platform by any means. It's way too early to say that. But even if it's not them, there will be another competitor that comes along, and we'll end up in a world where we had it with NFTs, where you have top 3, top 4 trading platforms that people go to for different reasons, and the same thing is going to happen in meme coins in this second inning, because I feel like the way it's being done right now, there's still more creativity and imagination around how to use Coles and Twitter influencers. I think Boop has the right idea, but they've just kind of messed up on the incentives, but I think it can be corrected.
My thought process was, if there's somebody who can capitalize on generating hype and generating incentives that are meaningful, it would be Frank. So that's why I kind of thought a new platform could be interesting for him, as we did see some success from Raydium. We did see some minor success from Boop, though the reward mechanism wasn't perfect. So like if there's somebody out there who could do something like that, I feel like that's just like a very like good fit for Frank. So that's like in my head.
Why is he? I don't think he's going to build something right now. Like there's no upside in spending all of his time and effort. He's able to do less and make more right now.
Yeah, so it might not be him, but there will be a Pac-Man of meme coins, like that kind of figure coming into the space who will vampire attack Pump.Fun for sure. And it could be Frank, it could be, but it could also just be someone else.
Also, I don't think Frank is not, I don't think he's just not putting effort in. I think he was putting a ton of effort in when he was trading. Like, wasn't he sitting like at his computer?
I didn't say he's putting no effort in. I'm saying he's putting all the effort into one thing, which is his own bags, which is completely different than putting effort into building a business. Is a completely different thing where the reward is not immediately to yourself. Yeah. And that's the thing where, like, if you're working on building a business, you like, he can go and make $5 million versus like go and build a business in the hopes that he makes $5 million.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, so, but Nick, Nick, I think you would also, I mean, I don't know if you agree with this statement, but once you've been CEO of your own company and you've run it and maybe it went wrong, like there's a certain characteristic and trait that person, whilst they might get satisfied from trading and making money, they will go back to building a business. Like once it's in your DNA, it doesn't really leave. You don't go and be an employee somewhere else. Like,
yeah, I'm not saying he's never going to do something. I think, yeah, 100% he'll do something. I just think, I just don't think that urge is instantaneous. And if he's able to trade, then yeah, he can. Someone says, is your app real? Yeah, it is real.
Can confirm. App's real.
It's real. App is real.
Although there's a bug that Ray's talking about on Android that causes notifications not to work properly. Shout out to all the iPhone people. I mean, we the best. But I
Yeah,
will
and
be
shout out
fixing.
to developers who can properly code notifications. They are also the best. Speaking of developers who can properly code notifications, my next story that I want to talk about today is Murad. Coming back to TikTok, this is somewhat interesting and I think very
I want to buy
funny.
SPX 6900.
That's kind of like where I want to like go down the road of. So basically, to tee this up, Murad's posted basically 4 TikTok videos under his Must Stop Murad account. All 4 of them are like soft shilling SPX. Ton of views, ton of followers. They're like absurd things. It's like why your life is harder than your father's. College degrees are useless. Why is everyone so lonely? This is your last chance to make money. And then like at the end, they're like, yeah, make sure you find a Memecoin cult to join, and like has like SPX popping up. Super like very weird, out of left field, but interesting. SPX has been up with everything else over the last week or so, almost 2x over its local bottom, well over 2x from its past like $225 million bottom. I kind of want to buy this too, Easy. What's your thought here?
I think it could become a TikTok coin. Like, that's the thing. I really do. Like, dude, his videos are so good. They're so bad that they're good. Like, I want to remake one because they're so funny. The dude's like, don't go to college, murder your family, don't eat, don't sleep, buy SPX, cult community. And it's like, what the fuck is this guy saying? But I'm sold, man. I'm fucking sold. Go to his page. His Twitter has some of the not even this video. Other people are creating them. He retweeted one that is so funny to me. Scroll down a little bit. Also, his pinned video is an 1.5-hour video about 150 different reasons SPX 6900 will reach $1 trillion market cap. The guy's fucking crazy. And you can't fade crazy, dude. If Jeffrey Dahmer launched a meme coin, I'd probably own a lot of it. You can't fade crazy, man. It just works. So scroll down. This one right here. That one is so funny.
I'm not kidding you when I
Restart it.
It literally, dude, SPX, I'm not kidding you when I say this. It literally taught me how to believe again. I have been looking for this motherfucking purpose for a long ass time, dude. There is so much more to this shit right now than a fucking coin, dude. And like, dude, I just can't explain like the energy within my body and my spirit and my soul. And like, dude, this is the
I can't even watch
thing,
this.
dude.
This should make you want to run through a
this
brick wall, dude.
That makes me want to shoot myself in the head.
Yeah, but there's a lot of things you do where I feel the same way, but that's besides the point. I'm just telling you, when you have people making this type of content, it's so funny. Like, to me, that is so, like, his videos are even crazier, where he's just talking to the camera about how college is a scam, and there's just a spinning SPX 6900 logo. Like, that to me is what I'm like, this could become a TikTok coin and just go. Like, just go.
When was the last time you made a new friend? Yeah, I thought so. Yeah.
How many views is he getting?
A lot. Scroll down. Look at.
No, I'm talking about on.
Well, this is 344 on Twitter.
On TikTok, 20 to 30K. He's only posted 4 videos.
All right, we'll see.
Here's Clemente when he shared it here. Yeah, like 25K on the biggest one, 10K. So this is like over the weekend, essentially, is when he launched it. So SPX, interesting, 765. I've got his whole kind of list here as well. Looking down that, I mean, lots of green. Smoking chicken fish up 39%. Retardio up 31%. Flog up 29%. Lock in 27%. So are you just going SPX and chill, or like are you going to potentially look at, hey, SPX is going to run, and then we're going to see like Murad Cult Meta V2.0, and we're going to see corrections across this list?
I think you see corrections across the list.
Yeah, I mean, this makes me really want to buy SPX. Makes me want to buy ticker Bitcoin, and maybe some lock in. Like, those are the ones I'm most interested out of this list. Signal, are you holding any of these still? I know we were talking about like putting this back together.
I still got like some of that stuff floating about in my portfolio. Look, I'm positioned, so I'm not adding to it anymore. Like, I'm just gonna let it run if it runs. I'm more interested. Like, it's the second inning. I don't really want to go back to the stuff that we did in the first inning. I'm kind of looking for the new stuff. I want to see what happens this time round. Like, I have to say, like, that man, he has conviction. My goodness, he is doubling, tripling down on his position. If there was anyone I was going to buy from his list, it can only be SPX. Like, it can only be SPX. And actually, I remember ages ago, before even like the first inning really started, I remember Easy saying, like, he would pick SPX. I think it was like over really old established coins, and that for some reason, that conversation that we had on the show ages ago is really resonating with me right now, and I still remember it. And sometimes Easy has this way of like picking certain tokens, and then he doesn't really talk about them, and then he's right, but you kind of have to wait like 8 to 12 months. And I feel like we're hitting that 8 to 12 months mark, and that is making me think, okay, you've got someone with deep conviction, you've got someone with a huge community, and now he's tripling down and going to TikTok, where the algorithm will push it because he already has an established community. You've got hippos giving birth to babies, which are running over a token that has done nothing over the past like 6 months. And now it's running because it had a baby or whatever. So like all the dots are connecting. And so I'm thinking anything on that list, it would be SPX. But other than that, I'll keep my old bags and get new bags. And that's what I'm thinking about for this inning.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I do think some old stuff is going around. I mean, we saw it with a lot of these other tokens, and we've seen it with some of Murad's list already. Like you said, Moodang, we saw Popcat. We're seeing like stuff across the board that's old, that's running. Just looking at my main watch list, there's like a ton of old stuff here. Unicorn Fart Dust, Eliza, like all the virtuals are moving. So like the meme coins and like half utility, half meme coin altcoins are all like running and leading. And I think we tend to see that as we kind of enter these bull cycles. If we pull back, then they'll pull back violently. So you got to be careful about where you're throwing money. But I feel like just SPX and Mirage just feels like it would just be tough to see a world where they don't have some sort of second run now that he's kind of like pushing this harder. And it's becoming a narrative on Twitter that he's talking about this on TikTok. So I'll be paying attention. I may be buying some today. But I'll keep you posted on that one. We have some other interesting things to talk about. We have ordinals that are potentially back. Have you been paying attention to ordinals at all? No. Okay. I just wanted to highlight basically like puppets up almost 50%, back over 0.05 Bitcoin. We have some macro news coming this week to watch for. Easy said we're kind of out of good news on the macro side, but I feel like we
buy, Ray? Sorry to interrupt. Did you buy? Because I remember you said, I think it was a puppet that will go into like near 0.02, I think a couple of weeks ago. Did you end up buying any ordinals?
Yeah, I bought a puppet. I think I bought it around like 0.04. I want to say 0.04. I'm like right around like break even. 0.04, 0.05, somewhere in that range. They're up at 0.056. Tapper Wizards 0.18. But yeah, everything went up like 10 to 80% yesterday over the last 24 hours across the board, which was just caught my eye as something I look at on a daily basis to see what is moving and shaking. Easy said that we, on the macro side, like we may not have good data, like bullish catalysts coming out. Like we already had the trade deal with China, the Russian peace talks. I mean, obviously there could be something there, like if they agree to a ceasefire later this week. But I think there is room for like the pullback potentially with negative macro data coming out. So this week we're going to see April CPI data come out on Tuesday, PPI come out on Thursday, and then we're going to get Powell speaking on Thursday as well. So we could get like a bigger picture on rate cuts, how that could potentially affect risk on markets. I think that we're continuing to trend down in terms of number of rate cuts. The Fed rates are still up. I think like the 10 years over 4.5%. We're looking at like basically a 90% chance of no cut in June on poly market. Fed rate cuts this year, we're looking at over 50% chance of 2 or less. So 20, 30, 40, 52% chance of 2 or less. So basically, are we going to see 2 or 3 now? And before we're talking about, was it going to be 3 or 4? So some things to pay attention to this week on the macro side of things. I thought it was interesting that crypto kind of front ran the price action on all this bullish macro news with the trade talks and the peace talks. And now we're kind of like just sitting steady after they got announced over the weekend. So I'm definitely keeping an eye out. I'm feeling overall hopeful, but I think I might be on the easy side when we could see a pullback.
I don't think it really matters if we see a pullback because it's still like within range. You know, we're not he didn't say we go under 90. He just said
96K and chop.
Yeah,
96K and chop, which is great for alts. Like that's my alts have been lagging 2 majors. So I mean, dude, Sol just hit 180. Like you can look at it now. The market in general right now is pricing alts where, in my opinion, they should be catching up. Sol up 3.6%, 179. ETH up 1.5. Bitcoin only up 0.15. The stock market is now filling this back gap, which I thought might happen. We're approaching resistance on the S&P. I look at trade market talks like the trade war basically now being resolved with this cease between China and the US, at least short term. So good news is basically going to be sparse. The major good news I'm looking for now would be Ukraine and Russia ceasefire, which would be a big deal. After that, though, it's pretty stagnant. Seems the tariff news is behind us, which is fine. I do think we could see a slight pullback across the board. We had a massive gap open on the S&P. I'm talking like, dude, this thing's up 2.5%, and no one could have bought it because it was over the weekend. So that's pretty substantial where now you usually get some sells into this. Give me a slight pullback down to like 570 on the S&P. I'd be happy. The dollar's pumping as well for the first time in a long time. The volatility index basically now back under its downtrend line, which shows volatility is going to slow pretty substantially, which signifies a pretty choppy market. If we get Bitcoin, even on this chart, let me share a couple of these things that I've had drawn out. This chart's starting to look like Nick's with these lines of support. We shattered above the downtrend, which was great, pushing off resistance here. The big thing I'm looking for, though, is no new high. So we haven't broken above a new high, which isn't unsurprising because that would be all-time high. So I do think right now a pullback back towards like 102 is interesting and potentially 98. So even here, these two lines would be pretty standard for me. You have overextension on ETH. You have Sol right at resistance. So for me, a slight pullback wouldn't be bad. Give me Sol back to 164. Give me ETH back down to like 2,300. Even you could even go slightly higher, 23 to 24. Not unsurprising. I'm not calling for like another dip back to 1,800 or even for Sol to dip all the way back to 140. If we did, that would be great in my opinion, because harder pullbacks usually lead to harder push-ups. Null asked India and Pakistan still going at it. From what I understood, they also had a ceasefire, which is great. Overall market looks good, but positive news has now all been stated. So when that happens, that's usually now where we get some stagnant moves. And I think we could kind of just chop for a little bit, which wouldn't be bad. We got this blow-off run in May, which I wanted. I think still holding through May is probably the play in my opinion. But if you're in some stuff, it's never a bad time to recognize a couple profits, especially if like you're leverage trading and have perps open. We just had a parabolic run across basically everything, including the S&P, including the NASDAQ. Huge net and Q's up 3.5% above this fib. Give me a pushback down. Like that's where my brain is I think we see some pullbacks. I was a little early on selling a call for my traditional equities accounts, but I think those will end up panning out. So for me, I'm sitting here just kind of watching. I don't want to be adding to more exposure on these volatile price moves unless we have like clear trend break. But even that, like we have clear trend break. Give me like a little something like that would be great. Same with Sol. Sol moving like that would be awesome. If we could get like a stuff like this. Bitcoin a little bit more down than up. Kind of where my brain goes, and that would push us through the summer. But I think we could see a chop like that for a little bit. We're running too hot, dude. It's like an engine. When it's running too hot, you gotta let it cool off.
Yeah, I could see a scenario where we do run hot and then we chop and like everyone just goes nuts again, where we chop for 2-3 months through the summer, through eggplant season. But hopefully that would drive like altcoins.
It should.
It's like up when Bitcoin runs.
I mean, dude, if memes are running, that's usually good for alts, and memes are fucking running.
Yep. Yeah. So I mean, right now, what is it a good time to be doing? Like, are you like if you're in positions, you're trimming. Are you considering adding alts like that you're bullish on here, and then you're also like basically
Near's the only one I want to keep buying because it hasn't pumped. That's it. Like that near chart is one of the more interesting ones to me. And I'm a big fibs guy. So if I'm looking at near here, we're still at the lows. Like give me $5 near before I'm like, okay, finally caught up. But even that, near's outpacing all the others. 3.2, 1.7, Bitcoin about to go red on the day. Give me a near pump. and I'll be euphoric on that. I also still like Kaido to some capacity. It's had a very hard run, but this is also finally broken out of its downtrend for fair pricing, in my opinion. So watching that. And then I do still think we have this like second wave of AI coins. Like Virtuals is running. But the one that I think so many people were so excited for but stopped talking about is Prompt. And I think Prompt is the one that's going to surprise a lot of people. It made higher lows. We have a beautiful wedge forming on this. And this is one that's it wants to break out. You can see that this wants to break. So if this breaks, Prompt up to give me 55 cents, I'd be happy. But this is one, once the game launches and once Wayfinder's public, I think Prompt becomes significantly more valuable. And I think with the AI meta not going anywhere, this is a chart and a trade that I'm very interested in.
It's interesting because like there's so many like little tidbits across the different ecosystems which have basically given green flags as this is something that will pump later on in the future. And when you get that next pullback, buy because it's going to go back up. And I feel like Prompt is a really good example. I feel like Rect is a really good example. I think Pengu is a good example. They're just like these little things that people aren't potentially heavily positioned in because maybe they've had such big pullbacks over the last sort of 6 to 8 to 12 months, or they haven't really done much. But the fact that those teams have consistently been there, have been consistently building, means that when the market gets momentum, eventually those tokens will pump, and they have a track record of pumping when everything else pumps. So I really like Prompt here. I think that's a really good example of something which is lagging and will come up. I still like Pengu. I still like Rect. I think this is all stuff that has already pumped. When you get that inevitable pullback, just buy a bit and then wait for the inevitable result.
Yeah, I agree. And apologies if you can hear my dogs. They're going absolutely bananas upstairs right now. I think somebody's like walking up to my door delivering a package. Yeah, I agree with you that these alts are very interesting. I'm basically looking for new stuff and sizing into some of these alts. I'm holding a position in Kaido. That makes me happy that you're bullish as well. Outside of that, just looking for new plays like Clemente's Dremilio play was big. I've been looking at Abstract. I was in that Cyclops trade. Basically staying active and like seeing like what people are talking about. I think we have more runners across things as people are more willing to spend some capital as markets are coming back a little bit. That being said, we've run for about an hour. Is there anything else you'd like to talk about? Top of mind, Signal? What are you looking for this week? What have you been thinking?
Oh, I think we've really covered everything, Ray. Like we've had really good TA from Nick. I disagreed on the 160, but then he pulled it back to 143, which is slightly more reasonable. Easy's given really good ideas for stuff that hasn't run yet, near Prompt. So I feel like now's still a good time to position a portfolio and just finding those little gems before we get the inevitable, okay, we're going to consolidate, and then go up, then consolidate, and then go up. Nick didn't give like a timeline to when he thinks we'll hit 140, 143, but I just feel like balls on the tables, just now's the time.
Yeah, that's fair. That makes sense.
It makes sense. Balls on the table. It makes sense. But like, no, you know what I mean? Like second inning, it's fun. Like you don't always need to be deployed. You don't always need to be deploying money all the time. You can just sit back and wait. And I feel like this is the time where, you stand up and you do the crowd wave. Like this is it. I feel like the market's got really good vibes. Everyone's happy.
Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah. I mean, yeah, Wolfie's shilling Bitcoin. Says doesn't own any, but like I find it hard. Like I can't talk about every meme coin that's up 40% over the weekend because there's like 10 meme coins that are up 40% today. Like Launchcoin.
Wolfie's just yelling about Bitcoin. Yeah, Bitcoin's crushing, dude.
UFD, Mudang, Michi, Eliza.
We can talk about them all. Shout out Bitcoin making a new all-time high. Well done. I'm ecstatic. It's awesome. Shout out Slingor for working for his bags. Shout out everyone who's done a great job pushing the bags.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, a lot of stuff is up a lot. Here's your chart for Bitcoin, Wolfie, because you're an everyday listener. We'll share it for you. Yeah. Big run up, all-time highs. Love to see it. Love to see these new meme coins that they're going to show us on TV and have to talk about. Awesome. That being said, that's going to wrap for today's show. Thank you all for listening. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for joining us today. We have an extremely exciting week ahead of us, I believe. You can catch us on all major podcasting platforms, Spotify, Apple. Watch us on YouTube. You can catch us there, see what we're talking about in real time. That being said, thank you all for coming again. We'll see you tomorrow.